Johnny is all set to sue the judge for being too nice to Amber Heard's team. It is seen in the trial footage and here. Let's dig into what has been done. The frustrating thing is getting Amber Heard's team with higher grace. People saw in the courtroom that Amber Heard's team got ordinary support from the judge, and if there was some other judge, they would have whipped the team for what they did. But the judge that time was patient, graceful, listened to them, but things later to discuss with them, etc. Finally, the situation arose when Elaine Bredehoft could not get a question for cross-examination. The judge suggested the bench to help Elaine refine her pudding and move on further with the case. So if the judge moved out of their way to assist anyone, it would have been Amber Heard's team. The judge did not call Bredehoft off the bench when she was objected to 9 times in a row while assisting. In her redirect, she got 7 to 8 questions in just 30 minutes. This judge was highly patient with Team Heard and gave them a tremendous amount of grace. So how are women not treated well in this courtroom or in this defamation trial? I think it's offensive to the judge for having an unfair trial. The female judge got teamed up with female attorneys and set back women in the courtroom. In this case, someone was able to reclaim their voice, and Amber Heard's team doesn't agree that it should have been Johnny Depp. So the case has 2 people slandering each other and making the case defamatory. Amber was also heard saying, Depp tells a judge, tell a jury, who will believe you? So this is what the criminals or the one causing an issue says? Get up and tell everyone, no one will believe. So how did Johnny Depp's fans react to Amber Heard bribing the judge? Is it fair? Let's hear them out. One user questioned why Amber should be believed simply because she is a woman. That is a ridiculous thought in my opinion. Only close friends of Amber and Johnny are aware of the truth. Isn't the hashtag #MeToo movement also for men? I'm asking sincerely. Another person stated that what worked in Johnny's favor was the length of this trial, which he spent talking about irrelevant matters in order to build his character. The judge gave them too much time and allowed them to talk about irrelevant topics. The following user says, that's what the DA told my son, who had video evidence about why she wasn't going to charge his abuser. Nobody's going to believe you. Thankfully, after a year of nonsense, the family court judge finally did, and my son was granted full custody of his son. A user replied here as she was referring to, these are the words of an abuser. Go ahead and leave, my kidnapper said. The children remain. You don't have a job. You didn't finish high school. You don't have any family here, no friends, no car, no money. Same thread, different threat. Others said, who's going to believe you, said AH. She has already decided that JD will not be believed, but she demands that we do and is angry that we do not. That person is a bully. Imagine how frustrated she must be at not being believed. A user says, finally she makes a mistake. No one is going to believe you, says an abuser, not a victim. It irritates me so much when people make that type of mistake because it says the exact opposite of what they mean and can be very confusing for those who are unfamiliar. One more fan stood up and said, well, it was a setback in the narrative, believe all women, in the narrative that we should pretend that women can't be abusers, that women can't be abusers to men, and that women can lie for self-gain at the expense of another. Women, like men, aren't perfect. One person says, this is fantastic. Grace is the perfect word to describe how a wonderful judge led her court. Truths and facts were finally allowed and brought to light, allowing a good, imperfect, non-abusive man to exist. Could be heard and his life could be restored. A man who was the victim of domestic violence. Another says, right? The outraged parties yelling like children about how the trial was misogynistic, unfair, and so on, including MSM, who should have known better, can't accept that the person they supported was proven to be defamatory and abusive. So what did they do? They plugged their ears and screamed even louder. One person again says, yes, I concur. To be believed is to be emotionally liberated from the chains that bind an abused victim. Why isn't the abuser being held over for a criminal investigation? It makes no difference who the abuser is when it comes to sex. When you cross the line and hit someone, that is abuse and is usually a criminal offense. Another person says, I have a teen son and a teen daughter. I can only believe one if both are involved in DV-SV relationships, say AH supporters. Are you serious? She's caused so much harm to herself. Her feminine movements have cracks as large as the stress wrinkles on her face. Moreover, people believe there are numerous instances. Elaine objected with her mic turned off, and Judge Penny patiently said, Please turn on your mic. I would not have heard you. It's ironic that Elaine claimed to be professional. How could a professional make the same mistakes multiple times? They also believed they desired equality, and they received it. Both parties were given time, resources, evidence, witnesses, and other benefits. They had a jury that was a melting pot. Everyone was given an equal opportunity. Amber simply did not press her points because they were false. Finally, a user says, completely nailed it. It was obvious that JD was telling the truth. It was obvious that AH was lying. JD's team was flawless throughout. AH's team struggled, relying on Rottenborn's intimidating demeanor, and EB appeared out of her depth. The judge was extremely fair. Are you in support of Depp? Do you believe Amber bribed the judge? Let us know your views in the comments and subscribe for more.